What if I told you that college was a scam? Seems like a pretty big topic that a lot of people talk about. Both sides have points as to why it is a scam, why it's not a scam, is it worth it or not. Ultimately, I'd be more on the side of it not being worth the price that it costs today. But there's a company in the game now deciding to throw everything away and start over. And that company is Palantir. You've probably heard about them. Their stock is a popular thing to talk about on YouTube and everything. And they put out a statement here saying college is broken. They get a little political too up here, saying skip the debt, skip the indoctrination, and get the Palantir degree. So they say here that admissions are based on flawed criteria, meritocracy and excellence are no longer the pursuits of educational institutions, and chaos has ensued on university campuses. And starting today, Palantir is launching a fall fellowship for the best and brightest graduating high school students based solely on merit and academic excellence. They will be invited for interviews, and then select applicants will receive an internship at Palantir. And then after you complete that, you will be offered a full-time job. So Palantir changing the game, deciding that college degrees and the pieces of paper from colleges don't really matter. And honestly, I don't think they've mattered for a long time now. I think a lot of companies have decided that, a college degree 40 years ago meant something because not a lot of people had it. So if you saw someone with it, they went through whatever the years of schooling, they pass everything, they can kind of stay on a schedule. You get more of an idea of them being able to do those things. Now it's just run of the mill. Everyone's got a piece of paper from college, and who really cares about it anymore? And honestly, this approach, I think, is something like the big tech companies have done this too. I think Google has their own Google certified stuff where you can go do their kind of classes, things. They can Google certification for, a bunch of stuff in tech, and that can go farther than a college degree because people look at Google and say, hey, that's a big tech company. If you can do their work, why can't you do something at Microsoft or Apple or any of these companies? But they have their own programs to get people and kind of filter through people, because it's no longer the college piece of paper that matters. It's more commonplace and basically doesn't mean anything. So I'd be more on their side. I'm kind of I think this makes sense. I don't think a college degree determines whether or not you'll be successful. I don't think it matters. I don't think it's a ticket to anything. I think people are beginning to be sold a lie where saying if you get a college degree, you will be successful, and that's not how it adds up, as well as them being astronomically expensive. You could go hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt for a piece of paper that majority of people don't even work in the field they got their piece of paper in. So does it really matter? There's also a video of the Palantir CEO talking about this, why their new strategy, why he doesn't like it and stuff, and kind of just dives into these things.
Look, Palantir, in all modesty, has been way ahead of the curve. We test everyone. You went to Harvard, we test you. You went to University of Colorado, you went to go to community college, we retest you. In the 50s in America, if you were a Yale degree, Yale alum, and you got retested, you'd be offended. The legitimacy of our institutions is so much weaker. Everybody's going to move to our methodology. You have to retest. Until we reform our institutions, I don't know what a grade is. I know our test.
Before he jumps into the reform, I feel like this is a little political, but honestly, we should all be able to agree college just isn't worth the price tag for the vast majority. Maybe STEM fields is the only thing you could justify it for. Outside of that, waste of time and money, in my opinion. But I think that there's a bigger model that companies are going to do, because college degrees just don't mean what they used to mean. They're not special. They're everywhere. So you can't look at someone and say, oh, they graduated from prestigious school, or they graduated from any college. They are this, that, and the other. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. And then for a company vision, it's like, if you can get some people and say, bring them in. Internships kind of weird. Maybe paid internship, right? I don't think anyone should be working for free, but get a paid internship and just learn their systems and how a company works and see how you fit in there. And then from there, you can see who's good for the system, who doesn't work with it, who knows what they're doing, and kind of just get a better employee, a better person. And for the people going to these jobs, you get to see, do you actually like the job? Do you like how the systems operate? Do you enjoy what you're doing? If not, you can go somewhere else. You know, maybe you waste a few months, but instead of wasting a few years on a college degree that you probably won't even use.
Look, across democracy in the West, we have a large focus on what we pay, not what comes out. In tech, we have an absolute myopic focus on what comes out, not what goes in. And like, our institutions have to move from what did we spend to what did we get. And that's very, very scary, because the outcomes are unfair. And that's why I'm actually still a card-carrying progressive, because we have to take care of the people who are not going to benefit from the AI revolution, who are not going to participate, who need remedial help. But the reality of what the West needs to do in every institution is, it does not matter what you spend. It matters what you get.
And he might be onto something, right? So it does matter what you get. And I think a lot of people would argue that colleges have been degraded. Who even cares about the political side and DEI or whatever you want to say and all this stuff? Forget about that. Even if everything was great and whatever, college still doesn't really mean anything. And the price is astronomical for what it's worth. The only fields that, you know, I would say that it could be worth it are STEM fields. Outside of that, you're just putting yourself into massive amounts of debt that people struggle with paying off. The student loan crisis is a crisis for a reason, because people are getting these degrees. They're told they'll be successful, but they're like over $1 trillion in student loan debt, and people don't know what they're going to do to pay it back. You can't bankrupt out of it because the federal government backs it all, which is another bigger problem. So you talk about the pricing of college and schools. The reason they go up and up and up and up and up is because there's no default risk. There's no risk to these people, the colleges, or the banks offering these loans, because the federal government backs them. The government says, we will make sure that these get paid back, and they're backed, and the company or the bank that offers this loan, they can offer the loan, do whatever. We'll give them the money, and the federal government will hold it. That's why you can't bankrupt out of student loans, at least federal ones. You can go bankrupt, you can lose everything, but you'll still have the student loan on you that you got to pay back, that they're counting on those payments to come in so they can count it as revenue and spend more trillions of dollars on worthless stuff. So honestly, I do think that this is a good idea. I think companies figuring out ways to go around this, maybe their internship, you know, type of thing they're trying to do. Maybe it's not the right way, but I think at least trying something is better than just sitting here and saying, oh, well, we'll see what happens. You know, I think that the college system is broken, has been broken for a while. People don't use the degrees they get. People go massively into debt for degrees that they don't use. There's a select few amount of people who actually use their degrees to get positions or get jobs or actually help them move forward in whatever career path they want. But it's still massively expensive, even for the people that it works for. So I'm all for finding a new way around this, finding a new kind of way to vet people. Obviously, companies need to do that. They need to get some sort of idea that this person can work out, or this person has a work ethic they want in their company, or has the skills they want for their company. There's things they got to figure out. And I like that we're moving into a direction of a multiple way. Maybe, you know, you ignore college and do your internship, or you offer your own programs like Google and get Google certified stuff where you can go take their classes and their programs online, learn the stuff, and then you get a Google certified stuff where that goes far in the industry. So there's more options, and I honestly think more options, the better. The more people can decide what they want to do in a path best for them, the better. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, wish button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next